And Indiana has done it. Their first ever Commissioner's Cup championship, stunning the Minnesota Lynx and turning heads across the WNBA. This wasn't just another game. It was a moment that rewrote the narrative of the league. From the opening whistle, Indiana proved they weren't going to let adversity define them. The Fever, without their star CaitlinClark, facing roster holes, internal drama, and against a powerhouse Lynx team led by MVP frontrunner Napheesacollier, were expected to fold. Instead, they delivered one of the most jaw-dropping upsets in recent memory. Kelsey Mitchell, Aliyahboston, Natasha Howard. These names took over the headlines. No one saw it coming. The storyline heading into the Commissioner's Cup was clear. Minnesota was dominant. A 14-3 record, reigning champs, a home court advantage at Target Center, and a raucous crowd expecting a repeat. But what played out was something completely different. CaitlinClark, still sidelined with a groin injury, hadn't played in 3 games. Her presence on the bench was symbolic. Her team would have to fight without their leader, their offensive engine, and the face of the league. To make things worse, Deirdre Dantes was competing internationally and unavailable, while the departure of veteran Dewana Bonner left a leadership vacuum that had people questioning the Fever's resolve. Bonner, expected to mentor this young team, had walked away mid-season. That decision only added fuel to the fire. Las Vegas sportsbooks had the Fever as massive underdogs, 14-point dogs to be exact. Analysts across media platforms called it a mismatch. But head coach Stephanie White had different plans. Pressure is a privilege, she told her squad, and the Fever embodied that belief. They were bruised but unbroken. From the tip, Indiana played with urgency and purpose. Mitchell attacked early, setting the tone with fearless drives. Cunningham came off the bench like a spark plug. Boston, finally getting the touches she needed, dominated the paint. Natasha Howard was the game changer. Her hustle, energy, and poise under pressure were unmatched. She ended the night with 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists, and went a perfect 8-4, 8 from the line. Her defense on Collier was masterful, forcing 5 turnovers and frustrating the Lynx offense into stagnation. When Indiana needed a stop or a clutch bucket, Howard delivered. Her performance wasn't just great, it was defining. The chants of MVP from the Fever bench were earned. Howard had done what few could, silence the Target Center and flip momentum in her team's favor. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham gave the Fever second and third chances with hustle plays and timely threes. Her 13 points and 7 rebounds injected confidence into a team that had everything to prove. Lexiehull and new signing Ari McDonald chipped in, both stepping into their roles with confidence. McDonald's return couldn't have come at a better time. 12 points and smart ball movement helped keep Minnesota's defense guessing. Indiana's ball movement had returned. After weeks of disjointed offense, without Clark, they rediscovered their identity. 5 players scored in double figures. The defense suffocated Minnesota, holding them to under 35% shooting and just 39 points over the final 3 quarters. Each time the Lynx made a run, Indiana responded. Boston scored big baskets in crunch time, and McDonald added a dagger of her own. The Lynx cut the lead to 7 in the 4th, and the crowd roared to life. But Indiana never blinked. They stayed composed, executed their sets, and slammed the door shut with a 74-59 win. Hollywood buzzing was lit up as the underdogs wrote a new script. The headlines were already drafted by media outlets, some even pre-publishing titles like Lynx Dominate Fever. But that's not what happened. Indiana didn't just win, they dominated. After the game, the locker room was electric. But one moment went viral. Cameras captured CaitlinClark during the celebration, holding the Commissioner's Cup like a chalice, hyping her teammates, and dropping 6 unforgettable words. "Guys, I just know everybody's sick." That's right. Everybody in the league is sick. In those 6 words, Clark called out what many believed but wouldn't say: the jealousy, the doubt, the dismissal this team had faced all season. Clark's presence, even injured, loomed large. She had been vocal, engaged, and supportive from the bench. She brought energy, offered advice, and kept her team grounded. This win was as much about her leadership as it was about execution on the floor. Social media lit up. Fans and analysts alike praised the Fever's heart. The WNBA's own social pages showed Clark's intense focus during the game, underscoring how much she wanted this for her team. And this victory didn't just shift the standings, it shifted the narrative. Minnesota coach Cheryl Reeve showed class in defeat, admitting, "They just sort of beat US," a nod to the grit and execution Indiana displayed. That acknowledgement meant something. The Commissioner's Cup may not be the league's championship trophy, but for the Fever it was everything. A statement win, a culture win, a validation of all the sacrifice, doubt, and hard work. This was a gut-check game. That's how Stephanie White described it, physically, mentally, emotionally. Her players responded by locking in and buying into every play, every possession. They weathered the storms, stayed connected, and refused to give in. That's what champions do. They find a way. When Mitchell lit up the scoreboard early, it set the tone. When Boston finally got the spacing and passes she needed, she showed why she's a generational post player. And when Howard turned defense into offense, the whole team elevated. Indiana reminded everyone that they're not just Clark's team. They're a unit. A team with depth. A team with toughness. A team that doesn't fold when the odds are against them. And that changes everything. When Clark returns fully healthy, Indiana won't just be a one-player show. They'll be one of the most dangerous teams in the league. They now know they can win without her, which only makes them more formidable with her on the court. This Commissioner's Cup victory was about more than a trophy. It was about identity. IndianaFever now have theirs. They are resilient. They are united. And they are no longer just a rebuilding team with potential. They are contenders. They are Hollywood buzzing in motion. They are coming for everything. Kelsey Mitchell, Aliyah-Boston, Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, lexiehull, Ari McDonald, they all played a part. They proved that when everything falls apart, when teammates leave, when media counts you out, and when your star is sidelined, you can still rise. Indiana just did. They showed that heart beats hype, that chemistry beats odds, and that real champions aren't built in easy times, they're forged in fire. This victory also sent a powerful message across the league. Don't underestimate a team with grit and heart. It's a reminder that basketball is a game of runs, adjustments, and mental toughness. The Fever executed their game plan to perfection, embracing a selfless style that put the team first over individual glory. The passing was crisp, the cuts were sharp, and their defense relentlessly pressured the Lynx into making mistakes. This game also showcased the evolution of Stephanie White as a coach. Known for her calm demeanor and sharp basketball IQ, White's ability to motivate and adjust on the fly was on full display. Her halftime talk, reportedly focused on resilience and belief, helped the Fever regroup and come out with a renewed fire in the third quarter. Offensively, the team capitalized on every opportunity, pushing the pace, exploiting mismatches, and showing an unselfish willingness to pass the ball until the best shot was available. Defensively, they played as a unit, switching seamlessly and closing down driving lanes. The Lynx, despite their talent, struggled to find answers. Collier, usually the linchpin, was visibly frustrated and exhausted by Howard's constant pressure. This matchup was a battle of wills, and Indiana proved they had the stronger spirit. Beyond the game, this victory has far-reaching implications for the WNBA landscape in 2025. The Fever are no longer just a dark horse. They are legitimate contenders. Their balanced attack and defensive tenacity set a new standard. Other teams now have to game plan against a unit with multiple threats rather than relying on shutting down one star. This depth gives Indiana flexibility, which will be critical as the long season wears on and injuries happen. And the chemistry, it's palpable. The players trust each other, celebrate each other's success, and share a collective hunger for more. The emotional payoff of winning the Commissioner's Cup under these circumstances will be a foundation they build on for the rest of the season. For fans, this game rekindled excitement and hope. The WNBA's narrative often centers around superstars, but this game proved that teamwork and heart can create magic, too. This team story, overcoming adversity, silencing doubters, and rallying together, is exactly what sports fans love. It's real, raw, and inspiring. Indiana's victory isn't just a win on the scoreboard, it's a cultural moment. It shifts perceptions and raises the bar. When CaitlinClark comes back healthy, this team will be unstoppable, blending her electrifying scoring with the toughness and balance shown in this game. The Fever are primed for a deep playoff run and could be the team to beat in 2025. So, to all Fever supporters, this is your moment. Shout it loud, I've got the Fever. Because this team has it: heart, determination, and championship DNA. Keep watching, keep believing, and get ready for what's next. The Fever aren't just in the conversation, they're leading it. This season just got a whole lot more exciting. And Indiana is ready to make history.